for your help today. I appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure.
My supervisor secretary sent the check off today. So.
Hi everyone, welcome to NJGAE Presents 2020 Holiday Highlight Party. I'm so excited to see you all virtually. Today we are hanging out with Miss Valerie Gargas and Mr. Chuck Miller. He will be performing a couple of songs for us live, and then we have some things to review, which have happened this year. So, Chuck, take it away.
All right. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Going and blowing, horses and fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime and jingle bells time. Dancing and prancing, jingle bell square. In the frosty air, what a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up a feet, jingle up around the climb. Mix and mingle and jingling beat. That's the jingle bell ride. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell ride. Jingle bells shine and jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing, jingle square. In the frosty air, on the right side, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle and jingle in beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell ride. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Happy holidays, everybody.
Woo! So now, thank you so much, Chuck. He was the one which started. He was our first person on Past and Present Performance Series, which is super awesome. And you can go back to his original performance, and it was a completely different format than it is now. If you scroll all the way down to our awesome YouTube page. So Chuck, if you'd like to hang out, you can. But we're going to discuss a couple of questions now. So the first one is, what is your guys' favorite holiday tradition? It's a hard one. And it's in your own family. So there's a couple that I really like from my family, but I like doing the gingerbread houses, which I'm currently at my grandmother's house to do gingerbread houses. And I also like just hanging out with my family on New Year's.
Well, going to church on Christmas Eve, that's a big deal. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about you, Chuck?
So can you repeat the question?
Oh, what are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Every year we go to a tree farm and pick out our tree, and it's just one of those things we still do as a family. My kids are older; they're 22 and 20, but we still have to do it. And every time we go, we have to get hot chocolate, even if it's 70 degrees out. We have to do that. We have to find the station that plays the Christmas music. We have to go through every section of the tree farm. I'm tired by an hour later. That's a really good one. And another great thing that we do is we have Christmas morning in our house, and then we always go to right around the corner is my mother-in-law's house, and we get like 2 Christmases. So that's like,
oh, nice.
So that's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's one of our favorite traditions.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
I worked at a Christmas tree farm this year, and I've heard a lot of people, like, when they find their Christmas tree farm, that's their Christmas tree farm, and they go every year, and it's awesome. So Priscilla will be joining us through the comments, and she said that baking cookies is hers, which I totally get. Baking cookies is so much fun. So moving on from less holiday-related ones, moving on to more 2020 and art. So what should we take from 2020 as like a positive thing? How should we meditate on it as we move on to our next year?
Well, I found that we really advanced technologically. We were forced to, and it has brought people together in a whole new way. That I see as the positive, because there is a lot of difficulty this year that we've had to deal with. But I see that as a positive thing. I mean, this whole forum that you're having now became possible because of that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say give creative people a problem and give them a few minutes, and they're going to figure it out. And I think what you saw was a lot of really talented, intelligent people figure out a lot of really neat ways of doing things to I know as a teacher, to give the students the best experience they can have in this pandemic and through all this. I mean, it's every school has a different need and a different everything. So I just think it's just giving creative people some time to think, and also it stretched us. It made us think of things in different ways. It made us think of things in. Are things the same? No, but just because it's not the same doesn't mean it's any better or worse. So I just think that the one thing to take away from this is that I think the arts community is probably a little more united now. I think that we're all in the same thing. We all suffer the same stuff. We're all trying to do the same thing. So in all honesty, I really thought it was a benefit to see everybody kind of come together and share ideas and share stories and help each other. I thought that was really positive.
Absolutely. Throughout this year, I've seen so many people, when I asked them about like what they would say about 2020, and I asked them about that sort of thing, they always are like, it's about the connection now. Like as far as arts go, is that since we were so disjointed and so disconnected, we really pushed for the connection, and art was the best way to do that because art is such a connective tissue of humanity. And I thought that was a really valuable thing we learned this year, and we heard talked about a lot this year.
and not to interject, but just I'm going to. I think when we always defend the fact that the arts are so integral to education and importance, the fact that students need to express themselves now more than ever, I think that is really, really important. And I see the same thing in visual art and even in dance. People need to express what's going on in their lives to stay connected since they're home a lot. And I've seen the same exact thing happen for so many people. So I agree 100%.
Absolutely. Please interject. This is a discussion. So Priscilla commented, although this year is filled with personal and professional challenges and losses for all, this year was also filled with hope, resilience, and creativity. Absolutely. So as teachers, what would you, and as just as humans, how would you advise the class of 2021? Because I'm part of that class, and we're getting our complete, like, we are probably not going back to school this year. And so how would you advise us going on to the future with this?
Chuck, you want to start first this time?
Sure. I would say the best advice you can give right now is to don't expect what happened before. A lot of the problems that we're seeing is that we're trying to uphold expectations of the past, and hopefully we can get back to those. But if you can just make best of what you're doing, you'll get the benefits from it. Some people do a virtual play and they're fantastic. And some people are able to do a play with no audience with masks. That's fantastic. As long as we're doing the arts, like, just do what you can do the best you can do and let everything else be what it is, and not to get all zen. But really, that's all we can do. We were all dealt the worst hand possible, and now we have to do that. So don't expect things to look or sound like it did before, but it's also up to you to make it as good as you can make it. Don't let the time bring you down. Create something new. Join something new. Start something new. Start a new thing. Do a new arts thing you want to do. That kind of stuff. So I advise them that way of create something new for you and your groups and your friends and stuff, and you will still find satisfaction in the arts.
Absolutely.
I could actually go back to my cooperating teacher. When I was a student teacher 40-some years ago, I remember this teacher, North Bergen High School, and he said, teachers have to be very flexible, but the theater teacher has to be the most flexible. But you know what? That's not a problem for those of us in the arts because we're very creative to begin with. And just as Chuck said, don't get yourself down because you thought you had certain plans and you thought you were going to go about them in a certain way. No, you've got your plans, but create a different way of getting there, which we can all do as creative people. Research it, find it. We've got so much access to so much information out there now on the internet that you can find ways to get where you want to go.
Absolutely. Something that when you said expectations, and then it was when you have an expectation, you're comparing it to last year. You're comparing it to last time you did it, right?
Jocelyn's gone. Or is that just me? That's me.
Oh, was I gone? Am I back?
I got
you. So when you have expectations, you're comparing it to last year or the last time you did it. And I'm gonna move and then add to the stream. Oh, Mrs. Gargis is glitching. But she'll come back. That's 2020 for you.
Right.
But when you have these expectations, you're comparing them, and we all know the quote, comparisons are the thief of joy. And so you want to keep in that this is you can have a plan, and it's okay to have a plan, but it's also important to be adaptable. That's one of those things in interviews which you say, like, I'm very adaptable, I'm a quick learner. And so that's a very valuable thing. So with that, Chuck, do you have any more comments?
Stay strong, everybody out there. You're all doing a great job, and I know the one thing that a lot of educators discuss is we all care about our kids deeply, and I'm speaking from an educator's perspective, and we want them to be motivated, and we understand that they're not always 100%, and we blame ourselves, and it's to stop blaming yourself and you just keep doing the best you can, because even though that kid may not show you the motivation they showed 2 years ago right now, the fact that you keep trying to reach them is going to make all the difference in the world. Like, they're going to remember that. They're going to know that you care. And as long as they know you care and you're trying, you know, that's where we are. You know, always strive for the best you can possibly do, but don't blame yourself for the situation around you. I would say that would be the advice for fellow educators out there. It's not your fault, and you're doing the best you can. And you just keep going, and you do what you do, and everything's going to turn out okay.
Absolutely. So, Gargis, we were about to move on to our next thing, but do you have any comments before we move on?
What was the last question? Because
there wasn't any extra question after the one which I asked. I was just seeing if there was anything else wanted to be said before we move on. So, with that, we will be moving on to our next thing, unless Gargis had something.
No, I don't think.
Okay, groovy. So, this year has been wild, as we all know, but we got this awesome stream out of it. So I will be showing a couple of clips from past streams, and then we'll be moving on to talking about the virtual ceremony we had this year. So let me screencast that.
Into a field, as I said, of art, or you're going to be a scientist or anything, you can always come home and sing a song, or you can write a poem, or how you're feeling, and keep creating and putting things out into the world. And there's always a community for you to come home to. Yeah, and I think that's really a really beautiful thing going forward. You know, it's a scary time, especially now, to go into the world with such uncertainty. But the one certainty you have is your heart, which, as we all do, we put into our art. And I think that's beautiful.
I strongly believe that growing up in the performing arts has helped me grow into the person that I am today. And I'm incredibly grateful to be a part of the arts community.
Being an artist is largely about being an observer, that you find that you have more to say when you listen, whether you're an actor trying to empathize with lives very distant from your own, or whether you're people watching on a subway and that particular face piques your interest and makes you think, I wonder what that person's story is. Art is about making sense out of what doesn't make sense.
For me, art in school helped me express what I was thinking.
Good job. Wow, that's interesting. Can you share something that inspires you now during this time? Can you say just a little louder so people
Feeling
can hear you?
my art and sharing it with people.
That's so cool. Do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to give the class of 2020?
For the class of 2020, remember different is beautiful. It makes magic happen.
I've been really, really present to creativity in the time of the pandemic and how there are creative solutions that are happening. And I am very sure that arts education is absolutely the very best way to teach anyone to solve problems. Creativity is really the pathway to problem solving.
And that's just some of them. So if that piques your interest and you haven't watched our other streams this year, please go back and check out some of them. We do one every single Friday. We've done it since April. And we will be continuing it in the new year, starting at 7 p.m. So with that, we'll be seeing a clip from our Governor's Awards ceremony this year.
to take a moment to fill up our spaces from our homes to the New Jersey War Memorial so that we may celebrate joyously in the celebration of our outstanding students. While we are standing and cheering and applauding, let's make sure that we are also giving kudos to the students' parents, families, guardians, and teachers for the important role that they play in the lives of these students.
So we will now be hearing from a couple of people who spoke during the ceremony. But with that, Chuck and Valerie, if you'd like to hang on, you can, and if you'd like to go, you can leave as well.
Thank you.
So it's been super awesome hosting this year, and if you have any comments or questions or would like to be on the stream, please reach out to me at my email, which is jocelyn@artsednj.org. So this is an alumni, and we will be seeing the 2020 speaker next.
Art education changed my entire life.
Art education is vital in everyone's lives. If you're a child, if you're someone in college, I think arts need to be implemented in your life. It allows someone to find creativity in anything they do, and learning about the arts is a great way to learn about different cultures and to learn about just how to free yourself and how to free your mind and how to be an open-minded person. And I think the arts are amazing and they are vital in everyone's life. And if we didn't have art education, then I think the world would be a really boring place.
Theater arts education teaches you how to look at the world from a different lens and a different perspective.
We are in a world where things are very emotionally charged. There are a lot of things going on and people feel a lot of things in that. And one of the best ways to channel your emotions is through the production of art. I play the clarinet, I recite poetry, I write. And I believe that by teaching kids about art and using art as a method of channeling your emotions, we can create a world that is more empathetic, a world in which people are better at communicating how they feel, and a world in which we can understand and experience each other's emotions in beautiful ways.
These are strange times right now, to just be honest, and art is so important right now. It's important in two factors. It's important in consuming art because, you know, everybody is stuck in these self-isolation and quarantines and we need some sort of escapism. But I think it's even more important right now that we create art because we have so many feelings going on throughout all of this and we just really need to have an expressive outlet. And I think personally that art is the best expressive outlet that anybody could ever have.
It is a part of the fabric of us as human beings. It is our soul. Other areas may be the brains and muscle tissue and sinew and skeleton. The arts are our soul. That we are soulless.
We are in a time of isolation and we can't do the things that we normally love to do, like go out with our friends or go watch shows, and it's really frustrating to just stay home all day. But I think that the arts are a great outlet, and if you paint or write or draw or learn a new instrument, it's a really great coping mechanism and it allows us to just release our creativity.
We need to fight for more funding for the arts and to just have art education available in every school system because, you know, every kid needs to know that art is a choice and art is something that anybody can do, and you just need to have the right education and the right mindset and the right surroundings to just really push you forward.
So our next speaker, he is from the 2020 ceremony. So put him up now.
Well, I believe the arts are more important now than ever is because it's very therapeutic for people. I mean, I know for me that when I write songs and compose during this time, that it really helps me cope with what's going on right now. So and that's the beauty of art, that it can help people in that way. Well, winning the Governor's Award put a lot of fire under my feet because after the Governor's Award that I saw out like bigger and better opportunities for myself. Like for example, I recently became a Grammy voting member and I was even invited to the 62nd Grammys, which was something that I thought was like impossible for me to do, but it was the fire from the Governor's Award that really led me to do those things. And other things, like when I went into my Berkeley audition, which was soon after the Governor's Award, I was this close from not even going to the audition because I thought I wasn't good enough. But I did so well in that audition that I got a full scholarship to attend the college. And I was just beside myself. And I'm glad that the Governor's Award, really gave me that passion and have confidence in myself to do the audition that well. And later on, I also I also started up my own publishing company, my own record label. And it's helping me so much with putting out my music out there, and it's such easier, convenient for myself. And all this wouldn't be possible if I didn't get that passion from the Governor's Award. So I thank you guys for giving me the award back in 2016. Arts education is so important because it gives a lot of kids like myself a platform to show off our creativity. And kids like us, we don't have any other platform to really show our creativity, and that's why the arts is so important because it allows us to be ourselves in the field that we're comfortable with. Out there, don't you ride on me. Well, that's simple. It's don't give up. And as simple as that may seem, a lot of people would
So with that, we will be moving on to our last final performances, and then we will bid 2020 adieu for the NJGAE / Past and Present Performance Series. So our first one is from the Governor's Award ceremony, where it was a dance compilation.
You steady me, slow and sweet. We sway, take the lead, and I will follow. Finally ready now to close my eyes and just believe that you won't lead me where you don't go. When my faith gets tight and my hope seems lost, you spin me round and around and remind me of that song, the one you wrote for me, and we dance. And we dance. And I've been told to pick up my sword and fight for love. Little did I know that love had won for me. Here in your arms, you still my heart again. I breathe you in like I've never breathed till now. When my faith gets tired and my hope seems lost, you spin me around and around and remind me of that song, the one you wrote for me, and we dance. Oh, we dance. Oh, when we dance, we dance. Oh, we dance, just you and me. And I will lock eyes with the one who's ransomed me, the one who gave me joy for morning. And I will lock eyes with the one who's chosen me, the one who set my feet to dancing. Oh, I will lock eyes with the one who's ransomed me, the one who gave me joy for morning. And no, I will lock eyes with the one who's chosen me, the one who set my feet to dancing. Oh, we dance. Oh, we dance. Oh, we dance, we dance. Oh, we dance, just you and me. It's nice to know I'm not alone. I've found my home here in your arms. It's nice to know I'm not alone. I've found my home here in your arms. It's nice to know I'm not alone. I've found my home here in your arms. It's nice to know I'm not alone. I've found my home here in your arms.
So with that, we have one more performance of the night, and then we'll be saying adieu.
All is bright.
And with that, I wish you all a very happy holiday. I hope you all stay very, very safe. And please, please don't give up. This year is just one of them. And it's difficult for every single person. And we have to keep in mind those who have lost jobs and family members and on all of them. And we pray for them and we send them wishes of sympathy. But we have to keep going. We have to keep making art. We have to keep creating, because that's what artists were put on the earth for. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Have a wonderful holiday. And I will see you in the new year of 2021. Good night, everyone.